your boy Yule.
I'm Margaret.
And yet again, this is Can We Talk About It?
So we are coming at you guys today with our Valentine's Day special. Aww. And as we are world-renowned experts in the art of love, people come to us for advice a lot. So we have some DM submissions, some people who are seeking advice for different romantic issues in their lives. We're going to read you guys the letters and we are going to give our responses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as Margaret said, we are the experts. So take what we say with the utmost weight. Because if you are also going through these situations, this might be advice that can help you find love and get through your tough situations.
Yeah. We need a little disclaimer. So if your relationship ends, it's not our fault. But
So what's the first one?
Okay. Dear Margaret and Yule, I moved in with the love of my life about 6 months ago.
Oh.
He's a great guy, but for as long as I've known him, we were friends for 5 years and have been dating for 1. He's had money troubles. I assumed it was because of his career at the time. He was a freelancer, but now he has a full-time gig at a publication and is still struggling. I've realized he's just bad at managing money. Anyway, this is all coming up because I've had to I think it means cover his portion of the rent twice in the last 6 months, and he's not offered to pay me back or cover my portion in exchange another month. I am by no means doing super well myself, but I am just better with money than him. I feel very conflicted about what to do. Part of me feels like I should break up with him if this happens again, but I don't want to let money rule my life and my decisions. I also genuinely think he's going to be successful one day, and I think, okay, maybe I'm carrying the financial weight right now, but eventually it'll be his turn, right? Signed, Splenda Mama.
Well, Splenda Mama, it seems like you have a situation that I feel like a lot of people go through in their relationships. Money is like a huge issue in relationships, like more so than people actually let on.
Right.
Some people won't even date you if your financial situation is right. If you're one of the paws. But this situation is interesting. I think it sounds like he's like an artist type, right?
Yeah.
He's like a freelancer. Then he's has a gig at a publication. He's probably writing articles.
Yeah, something like that.
Definitely like the artist type. So going into that, you kind of have to know what you're getting into.
It's facts. And though she says he does have this full-time job now, journalism in general doesn't pay that well until you get to a certain level. So it's even if he's full-time, he still might not be doing super well.
Yeah. So that's, I think, the first question she has to ask herself, what if it doesn't get better? What if, the salary cap, because maybe he's, something like, a teacher, an artist, these people that don't make millions of dollars. Is that a deal breaker for you? And if it is, it might just be a deal breaker for you.
It's true, but then I'm also if you're at a level where you can't make rent, that's a little, if it's he's not doing great financially, so we can't go out to dinner as much as I would like, or, we aren't going on vacation. Okay, then it's maybe he just can't afford a certain lifestyle that you want. Basic living is you can afford rent. Are you living somewhere that y'all both can afford? Was that a conversation before moving in? Can we both make this rent? And if she's saying he's just simply bad at managing money, as a person who's bad at managing money, I can tell you no matter how much money he makes, he's just going to match his bad spending habits to that new salary. Been there, doing it right myself.
This is not wrong. I think it's worth a conversation. So I think she should definitely talk to her partner and be like, listen, man, you can't be broke forever because it's not working out. But also, I feel like her having to cover his portion of the rent, that's not something that can happen often.
Right.
I'm assuming because they live together, it's like a maybe a half and half deal. You pay half, I pay my half. Sometimes there's struggles where it's can you cover me? But I don't even necessarily feel like there's the need to pay him back in a certain way, because then if your relationship becomes transactional where it's hey, I pay for this, so that means you pay for this, it gets weird.
It does get weird, but there has to be some kind of a conversation. Yeah,
I feel like there hasn't been enough discussion about money.
Right.
And I think you guys need to have that discussion, and depending on how it goes, you'll have your answer.
Right. That's very true. Money does matter. It shouldn't be everything, but it does matter.
It for sure matters.
Yeah. And I wonder if what is he spending money on? If you aren't able to make rent, where's that money going? Because rent to me is a basic, right? Yes. Is he buying the groceries for you guys, or is he buying shoes? Where is his money going? that he does have coming in. That he can't even give you like a portion and you cover the rest. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a little off to me.
Yeah, and the fact that it's also a full-time gig now is concerning.
Right.
I would feel like even if he was making like not that much money, it's still a full-time
minimum wage.
job. Yeah. Minimum wage is like, okay, it's really hard to cover it, but and again, she has the hope that he's going to be successful. She sees that in him. Maybe it's an early investment, like
that's
you in at the ground level right now, but trust me, when he get his little Apple business or whatever popping off, don't even have to.
When he gets on, though, leave your ass for a white girl. She's a white girl, the one who submitted this, so that will not be a concern. But nonetheless, I don't know. It's like, is he definitely going to stay with her?
What would you do? Would you stick around, or would you?
Well, first of all, let's be clear. I'd be the one who's struggling, so I would never have to worry about the situation.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't mind. I don't think I mind if it's like, that's the nature of relationships. Sometimes somebody's up, somebody's down. And I don't mind if it's my turn to kind of carry the load at a certain point, but it has to be a conversation. It can't just be like, I'm indefinitely, looking out for you. And then it's especially with COVID, a lot of people experience periods of unemployment and this and that. But if you have a job, then I also want to know, how are you managing your money? Like she says that he has an issue managing money. So that would have to be a conversation.
Since that came up, that makes sense. Since that he's bad at managing money. If you can't get it together, I would say you get your things together. Mm-hmm. And find someone that can get their things together.
You bounce. You dipset.
Facts. But definitely worth the conversation, especially if you love them.
100%.
All right. So, our next guest has sent us in this. Dear Margaret and Yule, I'll keep this super brief. I suspect my kid isn't mine. I have no reason to believe my wife would cheat. She's loyal, loving, and sweet. We've been together since we were teenagers, and she gave birth about a month ago. For context, she's Asian, I'm white. But our baby looks like a light-skinned black boy. Maybe a Sicilian with a really good tan. It would break her heart if I ever brought up my suspicions, and she hasn't acted strange or guilty in the slightest. Should I take a paternity test behind her back? Or maybe a 23andMe to see if I'm secretly 17% Nigerian? I'm just concerned that this will affect both my relationship with her and my son if I don't get to the bottom of it. But I also know if she ever found out, I'm guessing about the paternity test,
I think
she'd leave me. Signed, Dad in distress.
This is tough. I'll also just say that we're obviously not going to show a picture of the kid, but I did see the kid on Instagram. Looks like the way I looked like as a baby. To be fair, though, I am half black. So.
Ooh.
But, I mean.
The fact that he's oh man, like how white are you, bro? Like, are you like not even tan white? Like, are you like super
We're
pale?
talking blonde, blue eyes.
Oh,
yeah.
And she's Asian.
But I mean, you don't know what's in your genetic history. Genes are weird. Like you've seen those
like Asian gives me a lot because if she can be like Filipino.
Right, we actually have no idea what Asian, like what country she's from or what her ancestry is.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Exactly. That part makes me question it. And also, what is this? She gave birth about a month ago. Most babies are really light skinned when they're first born.
They are. Yeah. Also, I don't think this person is 17% Nigerian. I'll throw that out there as well. It's tough. The reason I feel like it's tough is like him saying that it's going to affect his relationships with them. Then it's like,
it's a concern for him, valid.
Right. But then at the same time, like, would you be able to live with the guilt of you doing that behind your partner's back and doubting them if it turned out you were the father?
All right, I have advice for this guy.
Okay.
My advice would be give it 6 months. When the baby is 6 months old, you can actually start to tell a little bit more like hair texture, features.
But what if you bond to the baby?
I mean,
or what if you don't bond to the baby because you don't know if it's yours, so you miss out on that initial bonding period with your child?
But I would say treat this baby as if it's your child.
That's going to be tough.
Because it is going to be so tough because if you have that doubt, but he said he doesn't really have a suspicion that she's like cheating. Yeah. So that's the part that also makes it like,
I know.
Like, what if like she's just a good, honest woman? She just had his child, right? But child looks a little bit different than he thought it would come up looking. But there's some like DNA from her grandfather. Like,
That's what I'm
exactly
thinking,
that just made the baby look
right.
a little
I'm
bit different.
inclined to give her the benefit of the doubt, especially if it's like, if she's not having any kind of reaction to the baby looking this way, maybe it's not a surprise to her. Maybe there's something in her genetic history where she just never mentioned it to him, where it's like, yeah, it wouldn't be weird. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we also don't know where she's from. And maybe he's just ignorant. Maybe she is, like, from a certain country where, like, the skin tone skews darker and she isn't. So he's not aware, but he's just not aware of, like, you know, different genetic phenotypes and patterns in that
grandfather
country.
would have been, like, super dark.
Exactly.
But, you know.
Yeah. And now you have a beautiful baby that looks like me. You're welcome. Blessed.
No, but
highly favored. Okay.
I think he should suck it up for a minute.
Yeah, wait it out.
Like, wait it out. A month-old baby doesn't look like anything.
Like,
I know. It could be any race.
It looks like E.T. Like, I don't...
Unless that baby's, like, specifically super white, right? Or specifically super dark.
Right, which is not the case here. What would you do if that were the case? If you were like, this baby is on some Wesley Snipes shit. Like, this baby...
That's not generation skipping. That's bro. Realizing that here's a little too curly, and yes, the baby's getting a little bit darker. It ends up looking something like me. I'm gonna say you gotta worry more so about leaving her than her leaving you.
Right. That's very true. That's very true. Real. Yeah. I mean, you know, wishing you the best. Hopefully, you just got a fucking beautiful baby.
Also, do take that 23andMe. Right. Just check. You never know.
All right. Dear Yule and Margaret, my boyfriend of 10 months has a close group of male and female friends. He always claimed he never dated or was involved with any of the women in the group. Well, the other day I was hanging out with all of them, and he and one of the female friends referenced something they saw when they were, quote unquote, heading back to the room. Obviously, they could have all been staying together, but I noticed he looked like he slipped up after he said it, so I confronted him that night. Okay, so I guess it was like they were on a trip or something.
Yeah.
But, okay. He admitted that they hooked up once 3 years ago during this trip. Okay, but they were drunk and it didn't count. He said he didn't tell me because he didn't want to upset me. Now I don't know if I can trust him. What do I do? Signed, Pants on Fire.
Let's start with this. Mm-hmm. He lied.
Yeah.
he lied. Because specifically said he claimed or said that he was never involved with any of the women.
Right. It's not even a lie by omission.
Yeah. That's straight up a lie.
Right.
I think 10 months at that point. I think you should let it go. I don't think y'all like are that deep. Like,
I agree.
Not moved in together or something. I think it's you should probably go.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
And the fact that something was even brought up casually in conversation, like we were headed back to the room while you were around. Disrespectful.
I don't like that.
Disrespectful. That's a punch a dude in the face moment.
Right.
I'm with my girl, and he's just like, yeah, man. I remember, like, her friend, he's just hanging out. Remember when we were headed back to the room and like,
right. And then
you about to head to the hospital. That's not something you just drop casually.
No,
like, you were ultimately disrespected, honestly.
100%. And then it's also, you look stupid because clearly everybody else knew about that.
Yeah.
And not you.
And then you said, like, he noticed, like, oh, like, he tensed up. Like, he realized, like, oh, yeah, you probably shouldn't have said that right now.
No, facts.
That means he was hiding it.
No,
that's all telltale signs of, like, hiding it.
Yeah.
But if it was, like, you know, they had hooked up before, you never asked about it, and then, like, it came up, and you're like, oh, that's a different... That's kind of like you omitted it,
right?
But for reasons where you don't want to make your significant others insecure. Like, you don't go into a relationship saying, "Yeah, I did hook up with one of my friends before."
No, right?
Like no one does that. But if you specifically ask, and then he specifically tells you, "Nah, it never happened,"
right?
It's a lie.
Or what if she didn't even ask? What if he just went out of his way to lie about it? We don't even know because she didn't specify if she ever asked him. I assume maybe she did, but yeah. I also am just like, I don't believe him. Like, I don't believe that it was a one-time thing when they were drunk because, like, 3 years ago, because I'm almost like, you probably could tell somebody that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe they feel like a little type of way about it, but I feel like it's, like, something more, like maybe they've hooked up more than once. Maybe still drunk, but maybe more than once. Because I'm like, otherwise, you can't tell someone, oh, I hooked up with this person 3 years ago when I was drunk, but nothing has happened since. Like, yeah, it depends on the partner, but still, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, like, and the fact is, it's like, this is like his close female friends.
Okay? Right.
Like, if you're not going to be honest about it.
No word.
There's something extra layered in there. Like, I feel like it's pretty simple to be like, yeah, like I used to hook up my friend.
No, right.
And just like call a spade a spade. But that seems like I'm hiding it for reasons.
Right. And honestly, the fact that she's not even saying, should I break up with him? Or like that she already did that or blew up at him makes me feel like she wouldn't get mad if it were just something he had told her about like 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? Or like not mad at a level of like, this is a deal breaker. Because this isn't even a deal breaker. So if he had been honest, that definitely I don't think would have been a deal breaker.
Yeah. I don't know if I can trust him is interesting. Because I'm pretty sure that friend is going to be around forever.
Right.
This is like, his close group of friends.
Right.
If you're uncomfortable with the situation, you don't know if they could trust them. And every time they go out, you're going to be like,
yeah.
what are you doing? Like, I got to be there when you're there with them. That's kind of toxic.
It
I'm not going to lie. So,
yeah. And then I don't know what that, if she means she doesn't know if she can trust him with the girl or she doesn't know if she could trust him in general.
Yeah.
Because he lied.
Firstly, I think it's both. Because firstly, she's not going to trust him with the girl.
No, facts.
Now it's because, like, I don't even know, like, what the dynamic is here. I've never even heard about this today. But now it's also like, all right, babe, I'm going to work. What time are you going to be home?
Right. And what else could he have lied about that happened in the past? Maybe he hooked up with one of the other female friends, too. Who even knows?
Yeah, like, this is the one that popped up. This is the darkness that came to light. What didn't come to light, oh, my God, now I'm going down the rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Who is this man? Like, yes,
right. Even if you feel like it's not that bad on his part, I just feel like I couldn't do it because I wouldn't trust the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, if you don't know if you can trust somebody, you can't trust them.
That's facts.
Like, once you're questioning if you can trust them, that trust is
over.
long gone.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so what do you do? I think you gotta dump him.
You gotta kick him in the curb.
Yeah.
For your mental health.
Yeah.
Because you're going to probably start spiraling from this moment on.
Facts.
Just thinking about what could have happened and what could be.
No, right.
Yeah.
But hopefully you see this after Valentine's Day so you can still maybe get a gift or something before you
break up on the 16th. Give it a day period. A grace period.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's our advice.
Oh, this one's short and sweet. For our next one. Dear Yule and Margaret, I just found out my boyfriend is married. Do I tell the wife or just leave him and move on? Signed, Side Snitch.
You want me to take this one first?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll tell the fucking wife. Are you serious? I'm a snitch. I say it all the time. I'm a snitch.
I think her name is accurate, Side Snitch, because you should probably tell that wife.
I mean...
If you found out your boyfriend is... First off, if you found out a dude you're talking to is married, you might not have that much of an obligation. You might be like, yo, like, this dude is weird. I'm just going to leave. Like, I'm going to get out of my situation. This says my boyfriend. That means there's a committed relationship involved here. That means, oh, yeah, like, we've been dating for months, years, whatever. How you got away with that for so long?
I don't know. Yeah, that is very strange.
Yes, I feel like you should tell the wife. Only because you guys are both on the same level. Like, you both have a level of commitment to this person, and he's clearly done you dirty. And honestly, he did you dirtier.
Yeah.
Like, you're the wife. You're the side girlfriend. Like,
yeah.
You're not even the side, like, chick. And if you were the side chick where it's like, oh, you know, I have a wife, but, you know, this is what it is.
Right.
At least you would have more insight to that person you're dating is.
That's
like,
facts.
If you're somebody that's like a side piece,
no, right,
and you're actually like,
but you're aware of what's
going. That's a different level than being strung along, and you have no idea.
Right, because that means if you're not the wife, but you're still in a committed relationship with this person where you have no, like, I can't even imagine like how many areas of their life that you're not privy to. You're clearly not going around their friends. Probably you're probably not going around their family. Probably not going around their job even. Like, there's probably a lot you don't know about them.
You don't know about the other girlfriends.
That's the one too. Yeah. No, I'm telling the wife 100%. Like, I understand the hesitation because it's kind of like inserting. It's like, it's not inserting yourself because you're already in the middle. Yeah. You're already in the situation, but it can be messy and you don't know how the wife is going to react or anything. I would probably tell her in some anonymous way. Like, I would send receipts so that she knows it's not just some random person like being like, oh, you know, but I would probably take steps to conceal my own identity if I don't know her and I don't know how she's going to react, but just enough that she can see the situation.
This is true. I don't know if I would do that.
You would like just let it be?
The anonymous part. Because the anonymous part leaves doubt in the wife's mind. It's like, oh, like, who's this person? They could just be trying to mess with me because, like, that's my husband. I'll just, like, come to her as a woman and be like, yes, listen, I have something to tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, she deserves to know.
No, she does.
Kind of messed up.
It's super fucked up.
Yeah,
and then he's just gonna do it with somebody else.
Situationally, like, I don't know if he's like has kids or anything. Right. Like, you didn't even know he's married. I don't know what his situation is, but you don't want her to be more deeply involved with someone like that because after you're gone, he's just gonna replace you. You're gonna get
it's true.
Another side girlfriend. So not only are you now not helping out the wife, you're not helping out the next person that he does this to. So,
and I feel like then at a certain point, health comes into play with it because if you feel like you're both in a committed relationship with somebody, and who knows how many other people he's in a committed relationship with,
this is true.
That's going to affect your health. So, yeah, tell her before Valentine's Day. Blow up his shit.
Nah, tell her after. 16th. The 16th. Like, tell her on the 15th.
Question: should she immediately break up with him, or should she cheat and then leave?
He's already cheating. Like, what's the cheating and leaving for? You don't care. You're the girlfriend.
True. That's true. Okay, yeah.
Technically a side piece.
All right.
But the wife should cheat and then leave.
Okay, fair enough.
The wife should keep it on the low when she finds out. Make him buy her stuff for Valentine's Day. Cheat, then leave.
1 day grace period, or he don't even get that? Cheat on the 15th or the 16th?
Cheat on the 14th.
Woo! Perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah, best of luck to you.
That sucks.
You can do better.
You can. Sure. So can the wife. Y'all both can. Dear Yule and Margaret, I went through my girlfriend's phone. Didn't find anything suspicious, but did find texts to her girlfriends talking about how I put on weight and she's not super attracted to me anymore. What do I do? Sign growing pains. Oh, that fucking sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah.
I have an interesting opinion on this one.
I think I might have the same opinion. I think we're going to focus in on the same thing, but go ahead.
All right. First off, you went through his girlfriend's phone.
That was my first thought.
All right. But I wasn't going to focus on that.
Okay.
I was going to focus on the fact that you got fat, bro. No. No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. What I really going to focus on is that sometimes people can talk to their friends in confidence. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, like, we say this thing about, like, being open and honest and communicating with, like, our significant others, but sometimes it's okay for them to talk about it with somebody else before they address you because it might not be the easiest thing to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Like, if, again, if it's the exact situation, your significant other is, like, getting big, but you don't know how to approach that because that's not a normal thing that, hey, man, like, you need to, like, what are you going to say?
No, I know.
Like, what are you going to say? And so sometimes you might need to consult a friend or
the
group chat and be like, listen, like,
how do I approach this?
How do I, like, say this without sounding effed up?
But I wonder if that's what she was saying. We don't know the context.
Now, exactly. Depending on the context is what's important. If she was just like, yo, I can't even deal with this fat nigga no more. Like then it's just like, that's super hurtful. But again, you also have to remember, this is the confidence of a group chat. She's not talking to you. Right? People don't say the things to you that they say in the nicest way possible, especially when it's a sensitive subject. But sometimes it's funny to, like, joke about it or whatever when you're in the confidence of a group chat.
Yeah.
Right? So first of all, you shouldn't have went through a phone. Let's
no,
start with that. So you wrong on that.
I'm like, why did he go through the phone? What is going on? Is he just an insecure person? Does she do suspicious things? And then if she does, then you have a bigger problem. But also, like, I'm just wondering if there's a connection between her maybe not acting super attracted to him anymore and him having these feelings where he thinks something's
that would add up, right? Like, he's like, okay, she's like not, like, hugging me the way she used to. Like, she doesn't feel like she's like lovey-dovey. Something must be going on. Then we got to the phone thing.
Yeah, I want to know why he went through her phone in the first place.
That's kind of a lack of communication on her part, but it's also wrong of you to go through the phone. So you guys are both kind of in the wrong.
Yeah. It hurts, though, if you were to find out, like, your partner wasn't attracted to you anymore.
For sure.
Can't say I've ever experienced... No, just... Can't relate. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, because I never went through the phone to find out. Yeah, no, I don't know. That's... What do I do? Well, okay, whatever. Now you have that information. What do you do?
You cheat back, then leave. No, I'm joking. You bring it up.
Do you say that you went through the phone, or do you just bring it up like, hey, I know that I've changed physically since we first got together. Do you feel like you're still attracted to me? And do you wait so it's not suspicious, so it doesn't look like you were like, hey, an hour ago you texted your friend this, and just randomly bringing this up in conversation?
Like, that's gonna be like a relationship breaking argument, because it's like, oh, right. Not only are you not attracted to me, I went through your phone. So now it's like, it's gonna be a point the finger argument. It's gonna be like, oh, why'd you go through my phone? Oh, why didn't you tell me that you felt this way? Right. Why did you do that? And it's not going to be healthy either way.
No facts.
So you opened Pandora's box when you went through her phone. Yeah. Unless you want to just start working out and just fucking internalize it. And let's be like, yeah, whatever, like, it is what it is. Because you probably shouldn't have went through the phone anyway.
No, it's true.
But at least now you know what her problem with you is. Like, I don't...
Yeah. Wouldn't it be interesting if it wasn't even the weight per se, though? Like... What if it was just like, she was no longer attracted to him, like even a personality thing,
Yeah.
So maybe he would lose all the weight and it just would still not be the same. The spark would be gone. Like maybe she's connecting the two.
She can get the ick.
Right. Because this might be an unpopular opinion, but I kind of feel like if I were with somebody and I had like a chemistry and a spark with them, even if, people do naturally change physically over time, you still retain an attraction to them if it's beyond a physical attraction, I feel.
Yes.
So it's like, maybe it's not about the weight. Like, yes, she mentioned that, but maybe it's deeper than the weight. Which also sucks.
It definitely is partially the weight, because she mentioned it, right?
To yes, her girlfriend. That's true. Yeah.
And she said she's not super attracted to him anymore. It might be because of the weight. Maybe. But again, I feel like you kind of have to fess up. You're going to have that difficult conversation. Yeah. Like, listen, like, I kind of know you don't find me attractive anymore. If you don't want to admit that you went through her phone or whatever.
Oh, no.
Should not have done.
Yeah. 100%. I would go down with the ship. I would never say that I went through the phone. I will never admit to it. Literally, you could have video footage of me going through the phone. I tell you, I was fucking checking the time. That I thought it was my phone and I picked it up by accident. Oh, I stared at the screen for a while. It took me a minute to register that it wasn't my phone. I don't give a fuck. I'm never saying I went through the phone. You're never gonna catch me slipping.
Yeah, you gotta find the nice way to bring up that conversation and ask her, like,
I would just
maybe just do that weird thing. People like, hey, you think we should start going to the gym together? Or...
I think I would say, like, I know I've changed a lot since we first met, and I just wonder if you still feel the same way towards me physically. So
ultimately, what's your like final advice?
I would have that conversation. I would approach it like that, and then I would move depending on her response. Like, if I didn't feel good in the relationship and I didn't feel like she was into me, and you can feel that, I'm sure. Like, it's not just like he saw the text message and like I'm saying, I think he went through the phone because he was feeling something was off. So definitely. If you feel like it's not vibing right, like, I would leave. And also I would leave because, like, I feel like I would want to be with somebody who is still into me no matter what kind of physical changes I go through, because that is a reality of life. When y'all are like growing old together and you're like 63, texting your friends like, I don't like his varicose veins or whatever. Like, no, like, and I get it because there's some changes that are within our control, but we also don't know why he gained weight. Like, people gain weight for different reasons, and like, I don't know.
I think I'm very much in line with what you're saying, but differently. I would feel like I would have a conversation, not even necessarily about the weight, but in like the relationship overall, and be like, yeah, like, I don't feel like you like me the same, or like, I don't feel like this relationship like is what it used to be, and I would like to get to the bottom of it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Stop going through that phone, because look at you. You found what you was looking for. You didn't find anything suspicious, but you look at you. You
hurt your own feelings.
Hurt your own feelings. And maybe she was going to get to it and tell you, but again,
maybe. Would you wait to have the conversation? Would you wait to see if she says something?
No. Okay. At this point, no, because maybe she was going to wait to have the conversation, but she was going to wait for a while. Like,
she just
still wasn't ready, like, to have the conversation. She was waiting a year to have the conversation just to see if you changed.
Right.
Like, you can't even like
That's
say
facts.
like she was going to have the conversation with you the next day. Maybe she just wanted to keep it to herself and see how it goes.
That's true. Yeah.
But hey.
Yeah.
Again, it's on her to be able to express that freely to her friends.
No, that's facts. So have the conversation and go from there. Don't say you went through the phone. So this next one is pretty spicy, so I decided we would save it for last. And the other ones I did send to you ahead of time. This one I did not. So he's going to be just as surprised as you guys are as he reads it for the first time. So
all right,
go for it.
Dear Yule and Margaret, my partner and I, both men, decided to start exploring and being honest about some of our kinks. He admitted to me that he experiences axillism, the strong desire to make love to somebody's armpit. Okay, he said he can't imagine truly having a sexually fulfilling life without this being a frequent aspect of it, and that he's fantasized about my armpits since meeting me at the gym and seeing them hairy, sweat-soaked, and full of deodorant clumps. He said it's the whole reason he approached me. I am repulsed, but I love him in every way, and I want to make him happy. Also, don't want to make him feel embarrassed for sharing this with me. So what do I do? Signed, Sexy Pits.
Number one, we don't kink shame here. Can we talk about it? Just throwing that out there.
We might a little bit. But, interesting kink. Let's start with that.
Yeah. It's not like, I feel like it's not, I don't know how to explain this. It's not creepy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'd be more weirded out if somebody was like.
Yeah, there's weirder kinks.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
This one, I've never even heard it before. So this is like a new one for me. But I think this is the real issue. The real issue is that it's not your kink. So that you might not be sexually compatible.
Right.
Now, how important is it to each of you? Because he said is the whole reason why he approached you. You know, this, like, he wants this to be a part of, like, his relationship.
Right.
But also, you guys, it seems like you said you love him. I'm assuming that means that you guys have been in a relationship for a while.
Right.
So this should have been something that was kind of exposed earlier before you got to the point of love.
Yeah, it's like, interesting that it didn't come up before if it's such an important part of this
like
other guy's sex life.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I want to really like do this with that guy. Like, why doesn't it come out early? Why did you wait till you got so deeply involved in
Maybe
this
so that you wouldn't be able to say no.
Exactly. This is exactly.
So you gotta fuck the pits. Or get your pits fucked, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys clearly aren't sexually compatible because you find it weird.
He said he's repulsed.
Yeah,
so that means you probably wouldn't even be able to do it.
Exactly.
I think there are some things maybe you would do where it's like, okay, I don't hate this, I don't love this, I feel neutral about it, but I know my partner's into it, so cool. But
yes,
if it's like you are actually disgusted or uncomfortable with it, then that's
different. Yeah. That's because then you're sacrificing someone, like something that you're like really against. For it's not like you can. That's not a meet in the middle kind of thing. If you're repulsed by it, meaning like, oh, I'd throw up. If like, you know, if you're like not into feet and like he's super into feet, it just might not be like sexually compatible.
Right.
My biggest problem with this is that he waited so long to tell you, and now it's like something like all of a sudden I require when you didn't know that this is what you were getting into.
And I wonder why they had this conversation in the first place, like. To be honest about some of our kinks is like an interesting way to phrase it. I wonder who brought up this or like what prompted it, because then it's like maybe this whole time they've been having like a lacking sex life, so they felt like they had to talk about it.
And you know what? It's fine to be like,
I want to explore something new.
Yeah, this is what I want to try, or like I've always wanted to try this. Yeah. But I feel like even if you're like kind of repulsed, that's something like you can try once and be like, all right, I tried it. Like I don't really, and I can say I really don't like this. If it's something that he says has, and again, I'm using his words, right?
Right.
Like, he wants it to be a full and frequent aspect of his sexual relationship. Like, to have a sexually fulfilling life. It's not something you can do.
Right.
There it goes. Like, it's out the window. Like, you can't be in the middle on this.
I wonder if he said, yeah, no, I don't think I can do this. If Sexy Pits, who wrote to us, said this, yeah, I can't do this. If his partner was like, oh, it's okay, but you know forever that person is not really satisfied, then how do you feel? Maybe you're selfish like me and you don't care, but no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's up to both of them.
Yeah.
It's like, is he willing to sacrifice that part of the relationship to be with you? Because, you know, that's what relationships are about. It's about making a sacrifice in some aspect to be like, yeah, like this has to work. You know, sometimes you're 99% compatible, and then that 1% is like, can I budge on this or can I not?
How important is it? Would you, if you were in this situation, would you if you were not willing to do this, would you let your partner step outside of the relationship only to do this?
No.
Just a fucking armpit. No. What's the big deal?
Your boyfriend says, I just want to fuck armpits. You're like, no. He's like, can I fuck other people's armpits?
I don't know if I would say no, because I'm like, to me, I think this is what it is. I think it is kind of like a judgment or idea of the kink. I'm like, this ain't even sexy, so, go for it. But I guess it's inappropriate. I guess it is cheating since they look at it as a sexual act. I think it's that I don't.
Yeah, personally, but I mean, that's a solution if you
guys
are into that. If you're comfortable with them going out and seeing other people to get
seeing other armpits, not seeing other people. It's completely just about the armpits. Maybe he joins.
It's about the person's armpit. He saw his armpit specifically and was like, "Damn, those deodorant clumps, I want that." So it's about the armpit on the person.
But do you know what's funny?
What?
You said you never heard of this before. Mm-hmm. I have. I didn't know it had a name. I mean, I guess like that it would have a name. I had a friend who I won't name, but I think some people have heard this story. No, she wasn't involved in this, but one time she was on the street and someone asked if they could photograph her, and they were posing her in a very specific way where she was putting her arms like over her head and stuff. So a professional photographer, he showed her like his page and his website, whatever, and she was dressed up that day, so she thought it was just that she looked nice. When she went on his Instagram, it was an armpit fetish page, and all these people were commenting underneath about her armpits. So then I guess, what if it was like that the person just sought out this, armpit fetish page and like just found somebody whose armpits he liked, who was like an armpit sex worker, and then that was the basis of the relationship. Like, it didn't go deeper than that.
Comfortable with that. That's fine. But that's essentially,
right.
saying like, hey, can I just get jerked off by some girl? Like, I'm not going to have sex with her. Like, I'm just going to... Like, there's things that are just like, just outside the realm of penetration that are still like, sex.
This is way outside the realm of penetration.
Yeah. And also, like I said, if that's the solution you want to go with, that's up to you guys in your relationship, because it seems like something he can't go without and something you absolutely will not do. So,
what if it's
I'd say... if all aspects of the relationship are good and you guys want to figure out a way around it, or you could just say no. Because you know what? Consent.
Right. 100%
you don't want that.
You can say no.
You literally don't want that. It does not have to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Well, that wraps up that. Hopefully you guys are going to have a better Valentine's Day than most of these people who wrote it to us. Enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm very concerned for our community as a whole.
Axelism,
guys. It's the word of the day. You guys, I hope you guys all find someone truly compatible with you this Valentine's Day. And you guys have a great one.
Yeah, enjoy. Happy Valentine's Day.